Today we are working on day 5 and 6, and first of all, for day 5 we are going to tackle some of the word problems and be able to get an equation from a graph. Okay, so let's just do a quick warm-up for number 1A. It says write the equation for each line by determining the slope and y-intercept. The y-intercept is always a point that is touching on the y-axis. So it looks like at 1, there is our y-intercept. Okay, and just a reminder, the equation of a line is y is equal to mx plus b. Now to find the slope, like I said from last class, you just have to pick 2 points and make a right angle triangle. So in this case, it gives us 2 points over here. And make a right angle triangle. So then I'm going to start from this point and then move to 1, 3. So from here, I'm moving to the left by 1 and 2. So if I'm moving to the left, minus 2. And then I'm going down by 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going down by 4 steps. So slope is, again, rise over run. So rise, meaning going down 4, and run, I'm going left 2. So when I divide -4 by -2, you get negative becomes positive, so it's 2. So therefore, y is equal to 2x plus 1. Okay? Now another way to find slope is to pick 2 points and use the formula m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This you must memorize and understand. This is the slope using 2 points. Finding slope using 2 points. Okay. So in this case, point 1 will be x1, y1, and point 2 will be x2 and y2. So let's try an example D. So already it's given us a 2 point, -2 and 3, and 2 and -3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to label. This is going to be my point 1. So -2 is x1, and 3 is y1, and then 2 is going to be x2, this is my second point, and y2. So let's rewrite the formula. M is equal to y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So what we need to do is finally plug it in. So y2 is -3 minus y1 is 3 over x2 is 2 minus x1 is -2, so I write the double negative. So -3 minus 3 is -6, and 2, the double negative becomes positive, so it's 4. So when I simplify the slope, m is equal to -3 over 2. And just by looking at the y-axis, it looks like my y-intercept is touching at 0. So therefore, the equation of this line is equal to y is equal to -3 over 2x. Okay, because the y-intercept is 0. So it might be easier for some people to use this formula, or you can use the second formula, which is rise over run. Okay. Now let's try an example number 2. A graph of Marina's college fund is shown. What is the slope of this line? Well, as you can see, so let's take a look. So y-axis is money saved, and the x-axis is a time in month. So to find the slope, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 2 points. Over here, 1 and 2. And I could make a right angle triangle like this. And I'm going to start from this point and move to the second point. So I'm going to the right by 8 steps. So it's 8 units, positive. And then from here to here, it looks like I'm going from 1,000 to 2,000. So you have to be careful with the unit because it looks like 1 square represents 250. So then if it's 4 squares, that's 1,000, positive. So therefore, the slope is rise over run. In this case, rise is positive 1,000 and run is 8. So if I simplify, it's 125, and don't forget the units, dollar per month. So it's $125 per month. So letter B, what does the slope represent? So in this case, the slope represents how much Marina fund have been saved every month. So it represents $125 per month saved every month. Letter C, what is the y-intercept? Okay, so it looks like, if you take a look here, on the y-axis, it looks like my y-intercept is 1,000. So my y-intercept, B, is 1,000. And what does this represent? Well, it looks like 1,000 is the initial starting point, the initial saving that she started with. So she probably put in $1,000 in the beginning of the fund. And then she started saving from there. And then letter E, write an equation that represents this Marina's college fund. So we know that y is equal to mx plus b. So we're going to plug in slope and y-intercept. So y is equal to 125x plus 1,000. But we do have to say what y and x represent. So we have to say let y be the dollar saved or amount that she saved, and let x be the number of months, right? Be the number of months. And money saved that's the y value. Okay. Now let's try another example. So going down. So let's take a look at letter number 4. So find the equation from the graph and then state what the y-intercept and slope represent mean. Okay. So let's take a look at letter 4A. A flight from Toronto to Rome can be modeled by the following graph. Find the equation of the line. Use d as a distance in kilometer and t as in time in hours. Then state what y-intercept and slope represent. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to write it in d is equal to mt plus b. So d is the distance, right? The y value. And t is the x value over here. So to find it, first let's identify the y-intercept. So it looks like my y-intercept is like right above 7,000. So we could say approximately y-intercept is maybe 7,200. And to find slope, you can make a right angle triangle. So it looks like the 2 points are given here. So I'm going to make this 2 points. So I will start from this point and then, so I'm going to go down. So it looks like I'm starting from 4,000 and going to 0. So rise is 4,000, but we're going down, so negative 4,000. And then run, we're going from 4 to 9. So that's 5 units. And I'm going to the right by 5 units, so it's positive. So when I simplify this, it's going to give me negative 800. So therefore, the equation is going to be d is equal to negative 800 t plus 7,200. So it makes sense. The slope is negative because the graph is going down as you read left to right. So what does this mean? Well, we know that the speed is the slope because the slope unit is kilometer over time, hour, right? So m represents negative 800 kilometer per hour. So it's going down. So this negative, you could represent that it's going down or decreasing at 800 kilometer per hour. Okay, oops, well, I don't know why there's here. So this is the speed. And for my y-intercept here, y-intercept is 7,200, and the unit for y-intercept is kilometer. So this is going to be the initial distance that you are starting from. Okay, so this is how far the distance from the Rome to Toronto. Okay, good. Okay, so you will do same thing with in terms of the equation. So please be mindful about picking the 2 points. So for example, I can start off with number 5. It says, the distance time graph illustrates Sarah's walk in front of a motion sensor. So in this case, the 2 points are not given. So what I would do is pick a 2 points that are very clear. So this point over here, which is 0, 2. And I could probably choose this point here, which is 2, 5. And then you can make a right angle triangle to find the slope. And just by looking at it, we know the y-intercept is going to be 2. Okay. So in this case, the y-intercept is 2. And the slope is, so I'm going to start from this point. So I'm going to the right by 2. And I'm going up by 3 steps. And each unit is 1. So rise, over, run. So therefore, d is equal to 3 over 2t plus 2. Okay, so that's it. Now for day 6, what we're doing is we're going to tackle a little bit more algebra. So we are going to find an equation of a line when we're given the slope and a point, or it could be a y-intercept. So when you are given a point like this, put it in a slope y-intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b. So it looks like my y-intercept is 7, so I'm going to plug in 7. And what we can do, when you're given a point, the point is 1 represents x and 3 represents y. So I'm going to plug in a point, which is y is 3, and x is 1. And 3 is equal to m times 1. So ultimately, your goal is to find m and y-intercept. So let's isolate for it. So 3 is equal to m plus 7. So I bring 7 to the other side. M is equal to negative 4. So therefore, y is equal to negative 4x plus 7. And that is the equation of a line. Now, what if you were given a slope and 1 point? So again, y is equal to mx plus b. So it looks like my slope is given, which is great. But now I have to find y-intercept. So to find y-intercept, we know 18 is x and y is negative 3. So I'm going to plug in y as negative 3 and x as 18. And then is equal to 1 over 6 plus b. So let's isolate for b. So 1 over 6 times 18 is going to give me 3 plus b. And I bring 3 to the other side. So b is equal to -6. So therefore, y is equal to 1 over 6 x minus 6. And that is how you find the equation of a line, by finding the slope and y-intercept using a point. So you will do some more practice here. Now, but what if you were to be given a table of values? So what we need to do is first identify what my y-intercept is. Y-intercept happens when x is 0. So it looks like my y-intercept here is 0. And then to find slope, pick 2 points. So I could use this point over here. So this is 3, 24. And I could use this point here, 2, 16. So 2, 16 could be represented as x1, y1, and this point will be x2 and y2. So the slope formula is equal to y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So let's plug it in. 24 minus 16 over 3 minus 2. So when you simplify, you're going to get 8. So now we know that slope is y is equal to 8x plus 0. But plus 0, it's invisible, so let's just ignore it. And the equation of this from the table of value is y is equal to 8x. Okay, so you'll be doing the same pattern. Okay, now, but what if you were to be given a number 12? So it says Jim drives a tractor trailer. So his job takes him throughout Eastern Canada and much in the Eastern United States. So he earns 45 cents for each kilometer he drives. So I could put this as 0.45 per kilometer. So this looks like it's a slope, right? Slope is something per something. So complete the table of values. So it looks like kilometer, this is x, is independent variable, and earning is dependent variable, y. So if you drive 0 kilometer, obviously you don't earn anything, 0. So if you drive 100 kilometer, all you need to do is 0.45 times 100 kilometer, and that will give you 45. And then, so same thing for 200, you're going to do 0.45 times 200, and you will get 90 kilometer. And then you'll do same thing. So 300 times 45, and you will get 135. And then after that, you will get 180. Okay. So therefore, find the rate of change. Well, it looks like, just by looking at it, it's 45 cents per kilometer. Or what you could do is you could pick 2 points. So I could use the first point over here, which is 0, 0. And I could use the last point over here, 400, 180. So 1, x1, y1, that's 0.1, x2, y2, this is 0.2. So let's use the formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're going to plug in 180 minus 0 over 400 minus 0. So when I simplify this, you're going to get 0.45. So therefore, we could say the rate of change is 45 cents per kilometer, right? Because y is dollar and x is kilometer. And find the equation of a line. We know that the y-intercept, when it's 0, it's going to be 0. So therefore, y is equal to 0.45 x plus 0. Okay, good. Another key thing that I do want to point out, if you look at number 11, is that, so Ben picked peaches last summer and his potential earnings are displayed in the table. So to find the slope again, you're going to pick 2 points and use the formula, okay? But to find the y-intercept happens when x is 0, right? But unfortunately, my y value, the earning, is not given when x is 0. So what you need to do is figure out what is the rate of change. So it looks like the difference is +1 every time I go to the right, right? So what's happening over here? So every time I go to the right, so I do 3 minus 1.5, gives me 150. 450 minus 3 also gives me 150. So every time I'm going to the right, increasing by number of baskets, you are adding 150. So therefore, to find the initial value I started with, all I need to do is 150 minus 150, because this is the change, and that will give me 0. So in this case, for the y-intercept is going to be 0, and the slope, because the rate of change is changing 150 over 1, my slope is going to be 150. Okay, and for unit, it's going to be dollar per basket. So the equation will be y is equal to 150 x plus 0. And 0 will be invisible.